There's been lots of talks over who should get Finals MVP if the Bucks win this game tonight, and there's people who have been saying that Chris Middleton should be in the conversation for MVP, which, in my opinion, that's okay. One, but two, there is no conversation for Finals MVP. You know what I mean? That's going to be the one topic we talk about today. It's very interesting the way how people are kind of, for me personally, forgetting that Giannis dropped back-to-back 40-point games and he's averaging about 32 points and 16 rebounds a game. That's a topic we're going to be talking about today a lot. As obviously this could be the last game of the season tonight, and I believe it will be the last game of the season for the NBA tonight, as I believe the Bucks will win this game tonight. But let's talk about it, man. Obviously, that's what we're here for. We're here to talk about it. We're here to agree to disagree with people, and that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of sports. But I believe this is episode 18 of Crunch Time. We will be talking about, obviously, Game 6 of the NBA Finals. That's going to be very important to talk about. Obviously, we're going to be talking about baseball. We're going to be getting a little bit more into depth over which teams have a actual chance of making a playoff push, and which teams so far that are in first place, second place, that could have a chance, but right now they have no chance. You see what I'm getting at? Kind of like the underdog team, like teams that are the favorites and the underdog teams. That's kind of where I'm getting at with that. Not really putting that in the words correctly, but that's what we're gonna be talking about. And like usual, man, that's all we got. I mean, I got some surprises this week, though. In the upcoming weeks, we got my top 25 early preseason college football predictions. It's real early, so it's not like anything crazy, obviously. Just we'll go along with that. And I have my top 5, if I haven't already said it, top 5 tight ends going into the 2021 NFL season. I believe we haven't talked about tight ends. We haven't talked about linebackers either, so I will definitely get a list going over linebackers and defensive line coming up in the future. But this week we will be going over our over tight ends this week, over who's the best. And yeah, that's gonna be it for the week, really. But anyway, let's just get right into the podcast today. So let's just get right into just the Bucks and the Suns. Game 6 is tonight. Game 6 is tonight. Big crowd. Gonna be a roaring crowd. Like we said yesterday, the Suns, they don't have momentum. The Bucks have all the momentum. The tempo change went crazy in Game 5 as soon as the Bucks won that game. But what should and I think the first question comes into mind is like, what's the mindset for the Suns? Like you have to go. If you win this game, you got to go back to Phoenix. But what is your mindset knowing that the crowd is going to be jam packed? That it's going to be the loudest crowd that you have ever heard. Team who hasn't won a finals and in years. Not like something like the Lakers or the Warriors or the Heat who have won and gone to the finals in recent memory. Like the Bucks haven't won in years, like about 50 years or so, I believe. The Suns have never won a ship at all, but still, it's the crowd is going to be jam packed, very electric, and I'm very excited to see the game tonight. But one thing that I just need to get off my chest though is people are talking about Finals MVP. People are talking about for the Bucks who should get Finals MVP and who should be in the discussion. And there are people who are saying that Chris Middleton should be in the Finals MVP discussion. And what I say to that is, sure, you can add him. You can add him to the discussion. You can do that, but no one's gonna vote for him. Why would you vote for Chris Middleton over Giannis? You know, like, it makes no sense to me whatsoever. Why you would vote for Giannis, or why would you vote for Chris Middleton over Giannis? It's the clear, obvious case for our Finals MVP would be Giannis. There's really no room around it, and there's also no need. There's no need to even add him in the discussion. There's no point for that. There's no point whatsoever to do that. And like I said, you can do that if you want, but it's not really worth it, in my opinion. Giannis is averaging 32 and 16 a game, and Chris Middleton is either going to be consistent one night or inconsistent another night. That's the way how it's been. Giannis dropped 40 back-to-back point games in Game 2 and Game 3, and is right now leading his team to a championship. And I think I'm mostly going off of just like what I heard people talk about with Stephen A. Smith saying that Chris Middleton should be in the discussion for Finals MVP. And what I say to that is, yeah, sure, you can add him there, but it's really not going to make a difference. If you want to vote for him, that's cool, but at the end of the day, no one's gonna side with you and say that Chris Middleton should be MVP when really everybody knows it's gonna be Giannis regardless. You know, it's like putting Drew Holiday in there. It's like you could if you want to, but I mean, regardless, it's not gonna matter. Like, no one's gonna talk about him. I mean, it's like putting like him. It's like putting a room together, like putting like a whole like bedroom together, and you just have like this big lamp. When you have like this small lamp that is like, oh, we can use it for light when you already have a bigger one. It's kind of like, well, you can put it there, but we're never going to need it. We're not going to use it. It's the same thing in this argument, the way how I'm putting it. You can put Chris Middleton there. You can put him in the discussion, but no one's going to pick him. Like, no one's going to do that. That's what I'm getting at with that. Is because there's really no point in even having him in the conversation. That's just what I'm going to say. But for me, I think the reason why the Bucks are going to win this game is because of the crowd. The crowd has been very electric the past, well, every time I guess they've been at home now. Their crowd was electric in games 3 and 4. Deer Nation, or whatever they have to call it, Deer Central. Like, is that what they call it? Like, I'm not really sure what they call it. Is it Deer Nation or Deer Central or Deer District? Deer District is Deer District. Yeah, Deer District has gone absolutely crazy. Went crazy in games 3 and 4, and it's like, imagine what they're gonna do in game 6. Imagine how loud that building's gonna be. Your ears are gonna be popping all over the place. Like that is going to be probably one of the loudest buildings that you could ever hear. Because one, the team hasn't won the ship in like 50 years, and two, Bucks fans are going crazy right now. They're going crazy, and what's so crazy about it is that, like I said yesterday, the Bucks wouldn't even be doing this without a super team. They are literally doing it with players that have been in their organization. Their two best players were in the organization in 2013, went from the worst record in the league at like 17-59 or whatever to now in the NBA Finals. Like, that's like loyalty and a process to to Chris Middleton and Giannis, but also the organization for saying, all right, let's just rebuild. Let's just do that. And it's crazy because the way how they both have improved over the years, it's actually really insane. How Giannis has gone from just being like this I guess tall, shrimpy kid, no muscles, to now being this absolute dog. And if Giannis wins MVP, they win tonight, they win the finals, he wins MVP, which he will. His resume will be a 5-time All-Star, a 5-time All-NBA, a 4-time All-Defense, a 2-time MVP, a Defensive Player of the Year, a Most Improved Player, NBA Champion, and NBA Finals MVP, and all of it at 26 years old. All of that at 26 years old. That's insane. All of that at 26 years old, and he's just getting better. He's getting a jump shot now. He's getting a jump shot now, and he's doing this at 26 with what he's been able to do. And there's people who obviously say, oh yeah, well, I mean, he's 6'11", he has the wingspan, he's supposed to do that. Well, it's like, well, yeah, but it's like, look at other guys, like Brook Lopez, he's 7 foot, he might not be as lengthy, but he's taller. It's like, for him, he built his strength up a whole lot over the years. Over the years, he's built his strength up. He's lengthy, muscular, and can drive into the paint like a wild animal. He drives in paint with force. He's getting a jumper now. He tracks a lot of attention. And he's a really good rebounder, and he's starting to pass a little bit more. His numbers are going up in assist total, surpassing. And we know how good of a defensive player he is. But yeah, he's just at 26 years old. That would be his resume, which is for 26 is actually insane. That's definitely something that a lot of 26 years olds, I guess you could say, in the league didn't have. But that's if he wins the title tonight and will win Finals MVP 100%. That's what his resume will look like, so that's very impressive. But going back up to why the Bucks are going to, why I believe the Bucks are going to win this game. One, because they haven't lost at home, and have they lost at home in the postseason? I don't believe they have, actually. I don't know. Maybe I'm forgetting about maybe the second round. Maybe, I'm not sure. Or no, against the Hawks. They lost against the Hawks in the Eastern Conference Finals. I remember that. They've been on a tear at home. For one, the crowd has been energetic every game they play at home. And I just think that it's just going to be the Bucks tonight where the trio comes alive again. That's just what I believe. Obviously, the way how the Bucks trio has gone, it's either been Giannis and Chris Middleton, or it's been Giannis and Jrue Holiday, or it's just been Giannis himself. And I believe the trio will come alive. I believe the crowd will energize them. I believe Jrue Holiday will go for 30 points and 10 assists. Giannis will go for 30 and 15 rebounds. And Chris Middleton will go for 25 points. That's 100% what I believe. That's just what I believe is going to happen. And for the Suns, I mean, this is a young team we're talking about. And a young team who's obviously has players who are in their first postseason too, and going into an electric building like this is definitely can definitely be nerve-wracking for a young team like the Suns. Obviously Chris Paul, not obviously this is the finals, but he's been to playoffs a lot, he knows how the crowd's going to be. But guys like Devin Booker kind of have to switch their mindset a little bit, as in we're in surviving mode now, because they haven't had a need to at all in the postseason to really play like their season's about to be over. Like they now have to play in survival mode. Like I believe this is the first game where they are facing elimination, all postseason. So now they have to play like they're in survival mode. You can't really play like yourself in this situation. Because one mistake can turn into like a run of 10 points real quick, and next you know you're losing, you're out of the game. For the Bucks, I mean they had a game 7 with the Nets. I mean, and on the road too, and won. Now they're playing a game 6 in an elimination game at home. Like, you really think the Bucks are gonna lose that game? Like versus Suns, who are now facing elimination for the first time, a young team in the finals who has to go up against the Bucks at home on the road. Like, as a player, like, what is your mindset in that situation? Because for me, it'd be survival mode. Like, dude, anything you can to win the game. Because all you gotta do is win the game. Doesn't matter who plays bad or who plays good or who plays bad. You just gotta win the game. Like, and if you don't win, then your season's over. But me personally, you gotta play like you in like a survival mode game. Because right now the Bucks are like, their horns are right now on your ass, and right now they're ready to just kick you out of the state as soon as that clock turns 0, and they're the ones who have the winning score. So that's my mindset going into it. For like the Suns, they just gotta. It doesn't matter who plays good or bad. Whoever has the hot hand in that moment, you gotta force feed them. You gotta keep feeding them. You gotta keep feeding them the ball. And for the Bucks, you gotta just put the Suns in the ground. Really, that's really my mentality. I think my mentality for stuff kind of goes a little bit overboard. A little bit. Like, me personally, like, for the Bucks, like, they need to put the Suns in the ground. Like, they need to. And for the Suns, it's all about survival mode at this point, because you can't play the way how you've been playing the entire time. You gotta play differently. Obviously you can keep running your same plays and whatnot, but there's definitely some stuff that you definitely gotta play different. And considering that, like, what type of game it's gonna be and what's gonna go down, you gotta play like your hair is on fire. You gotta go crazy for the Suns. No pun intended. And for the Bucks, just keep playing their game. Let the crowd control the game. They let the crowd control the game, they'll be just fine. Just fine. But yeah, they'll be just fine. Transitioning into a new topic now, into baseball. Transitioning into the life of the MLB, the AL, and the NL. So first, I think we just got to go over just first which teams going into the season were and are still favorites. So obviously, the teams that were favored going into the season were obviously the champion Los Angeles Dodgers. From the NL, I guess another team from the NL people were favoring would be the Braves, since they were in the NLCS. Teams from the AL that were favored, I believe, people were favoring were obviously the Yankees, the Rays, the Astros. People don't want to admit it, but they were. Those are teams that were favored, I guess the most by fans. Well, now it's time to see where those teams are at right now. So first, with the champion LA Dodgers, they are 58-37 in second place in their division. They lost to the Giants yesterday, 7-2, or 7-0, whichever score it was. I'm pretty sure they still lost anyway. They are in second place. They are right there for they are obviously right there for the division. Like, nothing is, they're not out of it. They're definitely not out of the division at all. Same thing with the Padres too. Padres are a little bit back of first place, I believe, by about I think 5.5 games now. Yeah, 5.5 games now. But anyway, Dodgers are 2 games out from the Giants. They're doing good, great record and whatnot. Another team that people favored were the Braves, who are not doing that good, but since they're playing in the NL East, they still have a chance. They're 4.5 games back of the Mets. Braves are 45 and 47. They just lost Ronald Acuna Jr., so they're obviously it's going to be a hard pick for people to choose them over anybody else. And now if we go to the AL, we go to the Astros, who are 57 and 38. They're enjoying themselves, They got 3.5 game lead. They're enjoying themselves. They're having a good time. And the Red Sox and the Rays, the Red Sox are 57 and 38 in first place. They're leading the Rays by a game and a half. The Rays are 55 and 39. And those are the teams that are favored. Really, the Braves are the only team that aren't actually like that. Their pitching just isn't helping them a lot. They have great hitters, but their pitching is destroying them. But for the AL, the way how the AL is looking, like each division is actually looking pretty crispy right now, man. The AL East, the Red Sox are 57 and 38. The Rays are 55 and 39. The Blue Jays are 48 and 43, and the Yankees are 48 and 44. Very impressive. The Central, the White Sox are 57 and 30 and 37, and the Indians are 47 and 44. In the AL West, the Astros are 57 and 38. The Athletics are 54 and 42, and the Mariners are 50 and 44. The Mariners are 50 and 44. They have a very young team. Mariners aren't really out of it either. They were down, but they got on a good win streak, and they got themselves back in. The Angels, they kind of fell off. I don't believe the Angels got a shot anymore. The Mariners kind of took care of business with them. But the Mariners are now 50 and 44. And right now they would be lined up in third place for a wild card spot behind the Athletics, the team that they're facing, I believe, this weekend, or right now. Actually, not this weekend. Right now, I think actually. So it's definitely it's definitely a big series. For those two teams for sure. Or they're facing each other this weekend, I believe. The Mariners and the A's. Mariners right now are facing the Rockies. The Athletics are facing the Angels right now. But yeah, those are two teams that are right now in the first and third, I guess, spots for trying to get a wildcard spot, or second and third spots for trying to get a wildcard spot. So we'll see what happens, man. I mean, it's definitely very interesting. To say the very least. Other stuff going on right now. I mean, the Rays are trying to get in the first place. They're facing the Orioles. Obviously, the Giants and Dodgers are facing each other, seeing who can get first place. The Phillies and the Yankees are both 7 and 3 in their last 10 games. They play each other tonight. Yes, it is Tuesday, so tonight. New York and Boston this weekend start another 4-game series. And the two first place NLs are two first place Central teams in the AL and NL, the White Sox and Brewers. Start a 3-game series in Milwaukee. So it's gonna be very, very exciting, to say the very least. It's gonna be very interesting. But I think more news around the league. The Mets, they beat the Reds 15-11 yesterday. I believe the Mets racked off 7 home runs. The Nationals destroyed the Marlins 18-1. It seems like it's always the NL East, man. It's always the NL East. It's always a team from the NL East that is getting absolutely demolished every time. It's either the Mets, the Marlins, and even the Nationals and like it's just I don't know, man. They beat them 18-1. Just crazy. Going to the AL now. Joey Gallo threw out 2 guys. They faced the Tigers. Threw out 2 guys. 1 from third, and 1 going home. Fun fact: the guy who I don't remember who was sliding in at third, but it literally looked like the man's batteries died. Like, the man lives like a robot. The man's batteries just died. Like, the way how he slid. It looked like he rolled over his foot, but when you look at it fast, the way how he slid, it looks like he just stopped in slow motion. He just started slowing down in slow motion. That's the way how it looked. John Lester for the Nationals. I'm really bouncing back and forth right now. I should really stop doing that, but we're just gonna go with it. It's whatever, I guess. John Lester for the Nationals pitched 7 scoreless innings, 7 strikeouts, and hit a home run, hit a 2-run shot, and went 2 for 3. I don't remember the last pitcher who hit a home run in a game this season, but definitely very impressive for him. Really, that's really about it around the league. Shohei Ohtani pitched yesterday. Got 8 Ks. Only gave up 3 hits, 1 walk. 6 scoreless innings against the Athletics, I believe. Really just all around just good baseball. But yeah, I mean that's really what's going on around the league right now. Blowouts, shootouts. Shootouts in baseball are always fun, especially watching it as a fan. That's always fun. It's really enjoyable. Yeah, that's what's going on around the league. But key games that went on yesterday that teams won. Giants beat the Dodgers. Yesterday. White Sox won on a walk-off home run. They played a doubleheader against the Twins. First game, Twins beat them. Nelson Cruz hit a bomb, an absolute bomb. Second game, Gavin Sheets hit a walk-off home run in the bottom of the 7th inning. Obviously, with the doubleheader rules, you only play 7 innings. So he hit a walk-off shot about 440 feet to right field. Yesterday for the White Sox, so they split the doubleheader that day. With the Twins. And last but not least, Yordan Alvarez hit a towering shot to, I believe, move past the Indians yesterday. I don't remember what the score was. Obviously, yeah, that's my bad. I don't remember what the score was, but I believe they did win yesterday. I do believe that. The Astros did. And yeah, that's what's going on around the league, really. So really just some key games going on. There's just a lot of key games going on for going on around the league right now, which can either set teams in first place or second place, or set teams even farther behind, like the Cubs, who lost against the Cardinals yesterday. Like 9-1. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it at all. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. That's gonna be it for the podcast today. There's some great games going on around the league. Baseball can be really exciting at times, a lot, especially when there's shootouts and there's key games going on that you want to see that can definitely affect the division. Or if you just like blowouts, I don't really know anybody who likes blowouts, especially people who don't watch baseball. Don't really understand that, but it was definitely a good night for sure. Yeah, we'll definitely be talking more about that tomorrow. Baseball is kind of a touchy subject. You can't really. it's kind of hard to explain, but you can't really talk about it like that a whole lot because there isn't really that much to talk about unless you're going deep in depth into every game, which is a very hard thing to do. But anyway, that'll be it for the podcast today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.